Hello everybody, Link Query here, and welcome to a snapshot review. We're going to be taking a look at 12W49A that was released earlier this week. So some things that they've added this time is normally whenever you try and add an item, say like a lever or button to an item like this, you'd always end up going into the item. Now, if you press and hold down your shift button for sneaking, you can right click, it'll add it to your items. Or for example, if you have a lever, you can add it to the tops of them. And this can be really useful, especially for things like dispensers. You can set buttons right on dispensers, kind of saving you from having to put all the redstone and whatnot behind it, or add a lever on the top. So you just re-click it to enable it, or even right down to notes you add in the lever. So we'll just play that one note. Kind of handy. So some interesting things to see what people will make with that. Another thing they've added now is the Nether brick slab. So this is great if you're big on doing a lot of different builds like Nether fortresses. You can now have a little bit more angles in it rather than just the stairs. And you do this just the same way you would do any other slab with any other blocks. Put them in the line of 3 and it'll give you the Nether brick slab. And this place is just the same as any of the others would. The next thing that they've added is the ability to now enchant books. So you'll see here, for example, I got 4 of them here. They all have one item, and to enchant a book, all you do is you take a regular book, head over to your enchanting table, and pop that in there, and it'll populate just like if you were putting an item in there, like a sword or a pickaxe, and it's still based on how many bookshelves you have surrounding it. And when you enchant it, it'll give you 1 enchantment. Now, this is great if you have a habit of dying and losing your enchantment points, and you really want to be able to save those before you go on a daring mining adventure. You can use your current experience points and put them into books and save them for later. The downside of this, though, is that it's only going to give you 1 enchantment at a time, versus if you're to enchant, say, like a diamond sword regularly, you could be looking at 2, 3 different enchantments all at once. Now, whenever you want to make use of one of these enchantment books, you would just take the item you wish to add that enchantment to, head over to your anvil, pop your item in there, pop your enchantment book, and again, this is another one of the downsides. Just to use this enchantment book, it's going to give you even more of an enchantment cost just to add that enchantment to the sword. But you'll see it adds all together onto the other 2 enchantments I already had in there, so hence being able to make use of those enchantment books. Now for one of my personal favorites, fireworks. So this is a great one. Doesn't really add any kind of things into the major adventure modes, but just a nice kind of visual enhancement into the game, and kind of gives you another use for these dyes finally, other than just dyeing wool blocks and using them to build with. Not that I'm against that, but that kind of has its limits. And the possibilities to do this, I'm definitely not going to go over every single different version. I'm going to give you the basics, because there's literally thousands of different abilities with this. So to get started, you first have to create what they call a firework star. To do this, first you're going to need a bit of gunpowder, and you take whatever colors you want the initial star to be in and dye. So say you want it to come out with sparkles of lime and purple, you put that in there with your gunpowder, and it creates a fire star, small ball with lime and purple. Then it doesn't matter what order you put this in or how you put this in here. They even have multiple different colors in here. If I remember right, there is a limit of how many you can put in here. Or you can absolutely go crazy. Apparently not. So we can have a small ball with yellow, orange, light gray, light blue, purple. And there's really so many it's running off the edge of the screen. However, you don't want to necessarily go that crazy because you can also do additional things with it other than just the standard colors. You notice I pulled out some glowstone dust and some diamond. What we can do with this is these four are going to create different shapes with your fireworks. So if you put the fire charge in there, it changes it from a small ball to a large ball. Or you can put a gold nugget in there to give you a sharp star-shaped firework. You pop in a creeper head, or any head for that matter. It could be a Steve head. It will always give you the creeper-shaped head. And then finally the feather will give you a burst. So kind of not so much of a ball, but random fireworks. However, you try and mix the two, it's again gonna give you nothing. So let's create a creeper head one. And then these two here are additional effects. So we already have our creeper shaped. What the glowstone dust is going to do is give you a twinkle, kind of twinkling up in the sky. And the diamond is going to give you a trail on the end of the sparkles. And you can actually do combine both effects. So we'd have a creeper shaped yellow, orange, light blue, purple, trailing, twinkling firework. So we now have our firework star, but we can't just shoot off a firework star like this. It has to be put into a firework rocket. To create this, you're going to use again some gunpowder, just like you used to make the star with, and some paper to wrap that gunpowder with to create your rocket. Now you can't just use the rocket alone. It's very boring. It's just going to go up, pop, nothing. But what you do is you can either take the gunpowder, the paper into here. You got that initial rocket, and then you take your firework star, pop it in there with there, and again, just like when you're creating it, doesn't matter what order you put it in here, it's going to put that fire star into the fire rocket. And then you'll notice too it has a flight duration of 1. You can increase how high you want these fireworks to go just by easily distributing the gunpowder into the crafting bench. Now it's not a matter of just putting, of course, 3 in there like this. It'd still be 1. You gotta spread it out like that. But you only have a maximum of 3. Much higher than that, it actually gets quite high. So you don't want to go much higher than 3. So once you have this, you can now take this out. And look at this, perfect time. We're just about to hit nighttime. So long as you're highlighting on a block, you right click onto it, and up in the sky it goes and explodes into a nice creeper head with all those colors that I put onto it. Now there is also another effect you can add into these, and it's a after effect. So you have the initial burst of those colors that I used, but then if you wanted to, we're going to create another quick star here. I'll do just these 3 colors for the moment, and we're going to add a trail and a twinkle because I find that kind of nice. But you put your firework star back in here, and you can actually add additional colors that it's going to fade into. So it's going to explode in lime and cyan, then fade to orange and yellow. And then you do the same thing. You create your rocket, and we go to shoot this one off. Starts in those colors but fades. You'll see it has a bit of a trail on it in those colors. Now another thing that you can do with the fireworks, you can throw them into the dispensers. You'll see I have some already ready here for a show. You pop these into here, line it up with your redstone, and instead of just spitting the firework out, it's actually going to set them off. So if we hit the button over here that have the dispensers all hooked up to, we then create a nice fireworks show. Excellent for celebrations in Minecraft, or just to show off a bit to your friends of your new creation. You can set up some fireworks. You'll see I have all the different designs in there. You got some of the bursts, the creeper heads, you got different colors of trails. The possibilities with this is absolutely endless. And that's all there is for this update at this time. Be sure to hit the like button if you do enjoy these spotlight reviews. And also subscribe so you can get the latest updates as I upload any of my new videos. And be sure to leave any comments of things you want to see me do in future videos.